STK chip. Oh my gosh. Alright, check this out. SR1000 came in to be looked at. Pretty nice looking receiver. But, as I said before, come on, STK chip, really right now? Looks like it's laid out pretty well. Nice open gang tuning capacitor right there. Look at that big old ferrite AM antenna. Here we go, look at that. It's been repaired one time before, the customer says. So I'm going to replace a radial lead capacitor with an axial lead capacitor right there. There's the dreaded STK chip. Oh my gosh, why do you do this? And then look what I see down here. Should you be able to see the 3 leads of the transistor through the top? And look at that diode right there. Try to zoom in on it. Yep, that one's seen better days. Well, let's go ahead and find out what Q806 is. Well, according to the numbers, it's a 2SC945. Used to pull a bunch of those out of CB radios back in the day to open the limiter. Don't tell anybody. Alright, I'll get the overhead camera fired up. We'll try to find a schematic on this thing and see what that transistor does. Nice looking receiver though. Alright, so looking at the schematic right here, they labeled it Q808 even though it's a diode. All the diodes are labeled Q. Anyhow, that diode is blown open. This transistor Q806 is blown open. So I'm wondering about the integrity of Q805. So I'm going to have to probably pull the bottom off this unit. We'll do some ohm checks. What about Q807, the Zener diode? That should be a 14 volt Zener diode according to the 14 volts I see on the emitter of this transistor. So do we have a short out here on the 34 volt line that probably feeds multiple items in the unit? I guess we'll find out. Well, let's do some diode junction tests on that transistor. So let's just start from base to collector. Base to emitter. Reverse the leads. Base to collector. I see a junction. Base to emitter. I see a junction. Collector to emitter. Wow, it's not shorted. So what could be going on here? That is really interesting. So let's go ahead and check the capacitors over here. So I've got my new blue ESR tester out. And there's the main filter cap right there. 0.04 ohms, perfectly fine. Check some of these other ones. I've got them marked on the board. 0.79. 1.6. 1.4, 0.26, these are the main filter caps right here, 0.02, 0.02, then we'll get up into some of the caps in the power amplifier right here, 1.3, 1.4, 0.25, 0.4, 0.1, 0.4, this is the one that got replaced, 0.22, 1.2, this one's way up under here, 1.4. So all the caps seem to ESR perfectly fine. So what could have caused that transistor to blow out? That is very strange. Oops, these are shorted together right there. I'm not even sure how this thing ever worked because look at that. That's the capacitor that got replaced. The customer says 20 plus years ago. That's a solder. It looks like it's almost connected to both pads. Well, not now. Well, let's go ahead and throw a 2SC945 and an RL207 diode into this. This is like a 1N4007, but it's a 2 amp rated diode instead of a 1 amp. I normally keep these things in stock. So let's go ahead and throw these in and see what happens. Okay, so I have my voltmeter connected to the 35 volt output right here from the emitter of this transistor right here that we checked, and it tested good. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this voltage up very slowly. And we'll see if it regulates at 35 volts. Well, there we're up to full voltage. I've got 34 volts. So power off, power back on, and it comes right up to 34 volts. Absolutely perfect. So maybe the diode just went bad, it shorted, who knows, but it's working. Let's get some speakers connected up to it and see if it makes any sound. Okay, here we go, power on. Oh, the amplifier's working. I hear static in the controls. Let's mute the FM. Wow. The switches need cleaned really bad. Oh. There it is. I've got audio. So I think it just needs some deoxit, and then the customer asked that I change the lamps, which I'll probably go ahead and put some LED lamps in this thing and get it back up on the road. Let's give it a shot of deoxit and see what happens. Much better. Does the AM work? Let's get an AM station, try to tune in here. It does. Yes, AM does work, FM works. Well, let's see if we can find some panel lamps for this thing. Controls still need to be cleaned, but that's okay. We'll get that taken care of. So here is the meter display lamp right here, and I have a wide dispersion LED. This one has about 180 degree dispersion. It's not focused on the lens, so it has a very wide dispersion. So I'm going to go ahead and clip this lamp out of the circuit. Just like that, it's gone. Next, I need to add a drop-in resistor. So I have a bunch of 1K resistors, 1000 ohm resistors. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that in series with one of the LED lights, and then we'll go ahead and place it. There's where the lamp used to go. We'll just go ahead and insert the LED back in that hole, and hopefully we get some meter illumination at that point. So I have an LED clamped in the pliers with a rubber band around the handle. I'm just going to go ahead and tin the lead of the LED. Then I have a resistor right here. I'm going to tin that lead as well, hopefully. There we go. We'll just go ahead and tack the LED to the resistor, just like that. Now we can trim these leads. It's going to get AC power, so it's not going to matter. It's going to have a 60 hertz flicker to it, but that's going to be perfectly fine. Usually your eyes can't resolve flicker below about 15 hertz. So let's go ahead and attach the leads. We'll put some heat shrink tubing on it, and then everything should be good. All right, so I've already put some heat shrink tubing over the leads. I'm just going to go ahead and tin the end of the leads. And then the same thing here, I'll tin the leads on the resistor. And the LED. We'll slide the heat shrink tubing back up over both leads and shrink it down. Now we'll give it a test run real quick. See if the LED actually lights up. And it does. Let's go ahead and put it in place now. I'll put a little bit of dielectric grease on it to help it slide into place. There we go. All right, the LED is inserted. So let's go ahead and change the two lamps for the tuner display and the tuning meter as well. So here is the tuning lamp, and it has a blue filter on it, but I'm just going to have to use a white LED. So I'm just going to go ahead and unsolder these two leads right here. We'll just go ahead and pull the incandescent lamp out of the circuit. And so I'm just going to go ahead and mount the LED in much the same location as the incandescent lamp came from. So I'll have to bend the leads into place. Then we'll have to add that 1K resistor again. I'll probably just go ahead and slice the trace, maybe right here, and just put a resistor from here to here. And I think we'll be good. All right, the LED is installed. Let's power it up. It's hard to see, but it is lit. It's shining light down into the tuner display right there. There it is. You can see it lighting up right there. Next, we need to replace the incandescent lamp for the tuning meter display right here. We'll do the exact same thing. Well, I wasn't happy with the single LED to illuminate the power level meters, so I went ahead and added two LEDs. I had to take the front off to get them pointed and oriented in the right direction. But let's go ahead and wire those up right now with a single 1K resistor, just like before. I think it's going to be just fine. Definitely much better than when we started. So it looks good, the meters bounce, everything's good, the light looks pretty good. Probably not quite as good as an incandescent light, but definitely much better than a single LED. I didn't show you that before, but it was very bright in the center and very dark on the edges. Now you can see the meters very well. And because it's doubtful this has ever been done before, let's go ahead and clean this thing up a little bit. Make it look nice. All right, very much better. One last thing, let's go ahead and clean the top of the tuning knob because this thing is severely neglected inside. No one ever gets to see it, but we can go ahead and wipe it off and make it look brand spanking new once again. These Marantzes had the nice flywheel tuning knob. That was like their trademark. We'll even wipe down the bottom of it a little bit, although it's probably not dirty down there. Oh, take a look at that. Wow. The nice flywheel tuning. Oh my goodness. The Marantz trademark. All right, time for final assembly and an audio test. Well, there it is with an FM station tuned in. The display looks great. It's all cleaned up. Man, this thing looks very nice. Actually sounds pretty darn good for its age. Even though it does have an STK chip in it, doesn't sound too bad. Cleaned up the cabinet, looks really nice. Man, this thing is in mint condition. So it's got the LED upgrades. Customer will never have to worry about replacing the incandescent lamps again. Well, there it is, the Marantz SR1000. I certainly hope you enjoyed the video on the repair of the power supply, cleaning the controls, and replacing the incandescent lamps with LED bulbs. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and like this video. It really does help my channel grow. You can follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at NorCal715. You can email me, norcal715videos@gmail.com. Go ahead and leave me a question, a comment, a concern down below. I try to read all the comments and respond when I have time. Remember, with your help, we can try to keep these things out of the landfill, out of the recycle bin, and out of the e-waste facility. Everybody, thank you for making it to the end of the video on the Marantz SR1000. I really do appreciate it. Everyone have a great day. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.